Hi there, welcome to Mady's Reflexology Corner. I'm your hostess for the day, Mady, and I have the great honor and privilege of introducing you today to my mentor, my teacher, and my friend, Lorraine Sr., award-winning therapist and reflexologist from the United Kingdom. Welcome to Canada, Lorraine, on your very first visit.
Thank you, Marie.
We're so very honored and pleased to have you here. Your work has been far-reaching, touching the hearts of people around the globe, and it means a lot to us to receive you in our country. So welcome to Quebec and welcome to Canada.
Thank you.
It's quite the honor. I have a series of questions for you that I think many of our therapists would be very interested to learning a little bit about you. The first and the most obvious question, I think, for many of our viewers and listeners will be what it was that really inspired you to pursue reflexology, from being an educator and a therapist with children. So what was it that triggered that interest initially?
Well, I think I've always been interested in lots of different complementary therapies, and then health issues, which quite often draw people to complementary therapies, introduced me to reflexology. And it came at a time where I thought, I've been teaching for many years, I have this opportunity to train, to retrain and learn a bit more about reflexology. So whilst I was teaching, I was also training for reflexology with quite a passion or a desire really to want to take the idea of reflexology to the children that I'd been working with, because I had really witnessed the idea of what positive touch does for the children, how it can calm and just help them to be in a better frame of mind. And so how could I develop reflexology in order to take it to meet the needs of many of the children that I'd been working with? So my training was reflexology with the thought of what I really wanted to do with that reflexology is to support children.
And I think you've accomplished that, and you've gone ahead to develop a very special program, the FRT program, which you are the founder of, Functional Reflex Therapy. Could you tell us a little bit about the Functional Reflex Therapy program and the rainbow technique services that you offer?
Yeah, certainly. It didn't come about straight away. I had the opportunity to deliver reflexology within my passionate environment, so within the school environment. And that school that I took my reflexology gave me, they gave me the time and the space to think about how to put a program together to best meet the needs of the pupils that I was working with. So reflexology has such a huge umbrella. They allowed me to combine my understanding perhaps of the education system, what is required to take a therapy into a school environment, what values did I need to add, along with how can I meet the needs of the children in a short period of time, and what is it I'm trying to do for them. So I went in with a reflexology hat, and through working with the children, I put together a structured routine that I could deliver within a timed framework, on a timetable.
Right.
And really looking to help the children, support their well-being, but ultimately help them to be in a better frame of mind to cope with activities that they were going to be faced with during the school day.
And do you present your FRT program during the classroom setting, or is that something that's isolated in a different timetable throughout their school day?
Yes, so initially I work as a reflexology therapist, and I use the functional reflex therapy framework within my therapy session. So although I have a very structured program, as a qualified reflexologist I can bring into my therapy room lots of different techniques. It's not just about functional reflex therapy for me as a reflexology therapist, but I use the structure to base my therapy session for the children, ultimately to help them to feel better within themselves. This is the intention of the therapy. But I can also use the very basic functional reflex therapy routine in a classroom setting, and maybe work with staff and work with children, help them to support each other with some very basic relaxation techniques. And then out of the school setting, and I can support the parents by teaching them the basic routine to work with their children, which has a lovely link to reflexology and the parents supporting their own children. So we're supporting the well-being of the parents as well as the children.
So this framework actually translates very well from one environment to the next,
Yes.
and it's very easy to understand and to use. It's user-friendly.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Can you share some of the benefits that you've seen with these children with this particular program that you've put in place?
Well, importantly, it's not just about the touch. It's not just about delivering our communication through touch. It has a framework to it. So for children I work with, quite often they have high levels of anxiety. They might find it difficult to communicate to the world around them and understand what's happening. And not just children, maybe adults too. So the idea of having a framework is that we provide something to help those the people that are going to receive the touch to understand what's happening. So we have a functional reflex therapy toolkit, if you like, which may be some communication aids, it may be some particular colours, it may be some symbols and photographs, just to help that person to understand what's going to be happening to them before you put your hands on. So for somebody that is highly anxious, that helps to alleviate some of that anxiety because they become aware of what's going to be happening before you do the touch. So functional reflex therapy is a framework, and we're looking at a before and during the session and what happens afterwards. So the communication side of it is really important. So some of the benefits I've seen, if we can alleviate a little bit of anxiety before the touch, you're helping that person to be in a better frame of mind before we start the therapy. Allowing, if they're happy, allowing somebody else to take control and deliver that touch, then we witness some lovely breathing, big deep breaths. We witness maybe them closing their eyes. We witness them allowing their body just a little bit of calming time. So particularly for, in my mind, particularly for young people that have autism, that may be very controlling in themselves, and they're very controlling in themselves because they're very frightened of the world around them. The difficulty is understanding the world around them. So if we can help with the communication and we can then deliver the positive touch to allow somebody else to take control and deliver that touch, and for them to accept it, we see a lovely calming response to them in that chair or wherever it is that we're delivering the therapy. So the benefits are, by the end of the session, is that person in a better frame of mind at the end of the session to when we started it. And so it's a short session. It's different to general reflexology if it's delivered in a timetabled therapy in a school setting. So that the important thing is to ask yourself, have we helped that young person to be in a better frame of mind at the end of the session, which may help them cope better with anything that they're going to be faced with or ongoing activities.
Right, some of these children, I assume, will be faced with other therapies, and this prepares them to better be responsive to those oncoming therapists and therapies, whether it's occupational therapy or psychological support or what have you. You've gone ahead to also help the educators, the teachers, the caregivers, by giving them tools that they can use every day in their particular environments. Speaking about environments, how would you suggest and how would you encourage our Canadian reflexologists in learning about the FRT framework, and how would Canadian reflexologists be able to better support their businesses and better support their clients by adapting and integrating this program into their field of study?
Well, I think when we look to get together for training,
Mhm.
the idea of the training is it's about the reflexologist thinking about how can they develop their business. So I might provide a structured relaxation routine, but I encourage the therapist to think about where their passion is, because yes, mine ultimately is the school setting, but actually, where might your passion be?
Right.
It is right for you to take a structured routine to support the well-being. Then how do you introduce that into that setting? How do you provide a professional package to show the many benefits? And I think by me coming to Canada, I'm going to learn a lot about the different expectations here in Canada
Mhm.
to the expectations in the UK.
Right.
Of not just the education system, but maybe of the hospice system or residential home system. What do they require from a professional reflexologist in order to buy in their services of their therapeutic intervention to deliver their reflexology therapy using this framework? The framework definitely provides the structure, and I'm hoping that if I can share all the documentation that I have in place, that then we can look to adapt it and make it right for what is expected here to meet the needs of all the different environments,
Mhm.
and any environment in which that professional reflexologist wants to take their business.
That's wonderful. I know that firsthand. I have many of my colleagues that work in different fields, whether it's palliative care or cancer units or geriatric care, people suffering from dementia. I think these basic communication skills and opening up different pathways will actually encourage them to maybe become in touch and serve a part of the population that they presently don't have access to.
Yeah.
So actually we're very interested, and I'm quite excited about taking this next 3-day course with you starting tomorrow with some of our colleagues also from the Reflexology Association of Canada. I know very well that you have started this amazing project. When I introduced Lorraine firsthand, I was telling you all how she has touched the hearts of many people around the world. Lorraine has actually put together an amazing program, far-reaching into the lands of Africa as well, with her global project that she's introduced to Zambia. I would love it very much if you would share your joy and your passion for what you've created there.
I feel really thrilled, I have to say, that with the opportunity of going to Zambia, to Africa, and that they've really welcomed us into so many different environments there, and with a big shout out to the partner that I go with, so Janet, who is also a reflexologist and a teacher, a recently retired teacher. It's lovely to be able to go and share skills in the special needs environment in Zambia with teachers and with some of the parents that the schools have amazingly brought in from surrounding villages. And if we can provide the techniques to teachers, then they deliver the positive touch program within the classroom and make it work for them. Our idea of going is sharing the skills, and it's a lovely adventure.
It is.
No two ways about it. It's a great adventure. We've met so many new people and learnt a lot about ourselves travelling to perhaps some more challenging environments. But importantly, what we found we are doing is we're sharing the skills, and those are the skills that we can leave behind. So it's not about what we do while we're out there, and it's not. We love working with the children. We love the opportunity to work with the staff and parents, but actually sharing the skills and leaving those behind for them to make it work for them in whatever environment we're working and they're working is the thrill for us, a real privilege, and to see how they've embraced the structured program that we've taken out there is I feel very proud. I feel very proud of what Janet and I have managed to do, and look forward to it developing and evolving really, so that we can continue
We look
to share
forward
it.
to seeing what else you're going to come up with in the next few years to come. Speaking of which, what are your short-term plans and what are your long-term plans?
Oh my goodness.
What do you envision yourself doing in the next year, and then again in the next 5
I can't
years?
possibly share all those, Marie.
Well, maybe just your aspirations regarding
think,
your work.
Yeah, I think my aspirations are that I've had the privilege to work with quite a few reflexologists now over the last few years, and what I've learnt from working with the reflexologists is that, of course, their passion is not the same as mine. My passion is with schools and working with the children, but they have taken the work and they're making it right for where they want to deliver it. So what I need to do is to share the material that I've put together with reflexologists who are now realising that it can be taken into many different environments. I was very focused when I started that it must be for children with special needs. I'm sure this is, but actually it's going into many different fields, which is lovely. But reflexologists need to know that actually this is available and it's working in lots of different pathways and lots of different environments. So I would really like to be able to share through the training and to meet other reflexologists to help them to develop their business. So that's the reflexology side. And I think for the functional reflex therapy side, yes, continue to work with parents. And the global project, well, I don't know where the global project will take me or will take Janet, who I work with, but where would it take other functional reflex therapy reflexologists? Because it's surprising where everybody has a link around the world. So if they can take the skills and go and deliver those skills as we have done in Zambia or are doing in Zambia, then they become part of the global project. It's not just about me and Janet.
Of course.
Zambia may be our passion now, but actually where can this be taken is the exciting bit, really. So I'm just trying to reach as many reflexologists as possible, and then I would like those reflexologists to go out and reach as many other people as possible.
So if my fellow colleagues would like to get in touch with you and reach you and find out a little bit about your project, maybe you inspire and you're aspired to perhaps develop your own projects, your own businesses, and help them flourish in a different way, in a different venue. Where is it that they can find you? How can they get in touch with you? Do you have a website?
Yeah, so they can find me under that title, Functional Reflex Therapy. So I have a website there, or if they, for social media purposes, Google Lorraine Senior, they can find me there. And so they, drop me an email.
Okay.
Just say a hello and ask any questions
So,
about
and
the
the
work.
link to the website is
www.functionalreflextherapy.co.uk.
Okay. So thank you so very much for agreeing to this interview. It's been a passion of mine and a desire to have you here. It's been 3.5 years in the making for me. This is a source of great pride and joy. Mrs. Senior would never have imagined the profound impact she would have had on my life and in the lives of the parents and children that I've cared for over the years. With profound affection and a great deep of gratitude, I thank you. I encourage all of you to take the little bits of information that we've gathered here today as friends, as colleagues, and to pursue your dreams in the capacity that you see fit to enrich your lives and the lives of all the people around you in your communities. Thank you so very much for joining Marie Mady's Reflexology Corner. I hope to inspire you and introduce you to many reflexologists across Quebec and Canada and introduce you to the wonderful work that they're doing in our communities, far-reaching many people across the globe. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much, Lorraine.
Thank you.